What's up, you guys? Ross Sapp here, managing editor of Fightful.com. It is October 10th. We are talking WWE Smackdown Live and some happenings in the world of pro wrestling. Visit Fightful.com. We have all your MMA, pro wrestling, boxing news, photos, videos, forums, all that good stuff. Also, we encourage you to subscribe, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Share our stories, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, of course. Follow individual community guidelines as you do so. Every 1,000 subscribers we get on YouTube, I'm going to give something away. I got a couple Rey Mysterio signed masks and DVDs. Ooh, Jeff, if you subscribe to our YouTube, you could win a copy of, I think it's 12 Rounds 2, whatever that, I don't know. Orton was in it.
Is that the one with the dude from The Wire? And
I'm not sure. I never opened it. They just sent it to me. I didn't actually open it.
Actually, I think that's the first 12 rounds, but cool.
Yeah, sure. There's plenty of stuff. So there's Jeff.
Hi.
Also Anna, who can be seen on our WWE Hell in a Cell show, which did great numbers, by the way.
Good. I'm glad to hear it was a great show for the most part ish.
Awesome numbers.
Great price.
Of course, unlike Anna, you all are more than just numbers to me. You are faithful. You are our viewers. You are our readers. And for that, I appreciate you. So we got some news to talk about. This Neville situation. He has not been granted a release as of right now. I've been talking to people all day, or not all day, throughout SmackDown. Like, not all day at all, because I hadn't heard much about it before SmackDown. And then someone who I trusted heard... got wind of this, and I followed up, and Neville left yesterday. He left WWE Raw. He was very unhappy. Don't know why he was unhappy. There were changes to the match last night. I don't know what changes those were exactly, but they wanted him to stick around and talk about it. He didn't want to. They kind of followed him out, hoping they could make it work. It didn't work out. They were hoping that they could make it work tonight. I don't know if he's there. We'll find all that out for you. We'll have it up on Fightful.com. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks Bullet Club has jumped on this and tweeted him a Bullet Club shirt. Jeff, first off, I know this. I know WWE does not want to cut him. And then there are other people that have contacted WWE who are denying the story. It is absolutely true. Because I've heard from other people in WWE who said, yeah, WWE does not, they don't want to let him go. What do you make of this news?
I think, I think it's systemic of the 205 brand ever since they brought it up, with a lack of real foresight or planning. I mean, Austin Aries left because he had nothing left to do. I think Neville's pretty much in the same situation right now.
He could have made it onto the main DVD portion of WrestleMania.
Did he? Because he was in the pre-show.
No, I said he could have. He had that left to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you know what I'm saying here. I mean, there's it's that weird balance between taking care of your career and wanting to have financial stability. And I think, you know what, after a certain time, you just go, look, if you don't have anything new and fresh for me to do, just let me go. And you know what, I'm erring on the side of that's probably what happened here.
Anna, your thoughts?
From a selfish level, it's completely sucks. I don't want him to leave, but at the same time, if this is, I get it. Like, if you work at something your whole life, and he was put in this prime position in 205, he gave it his all, he delivered. He's been absolutely incredible, and yeah, they didn't get on the show at WrestleMania, even though that was one of the best matches. In every pay-per-view, he continuously delivers, and then it's taken Enzo to come in and take the head spot because he's the one that had the merchandise and the following, because they didn't know how to deal with 205 correctly in the beginning. And it's still debatable as to where it's at now, but it's a hell of a lot better and a lot more enjoyable now. But I get it. If you put your all into this and you're still not getting the spot that you deserve, to be perfectly honest, I get the want to walk away. I feel the same thing with acting, to be honest. And maybe the best thing is that he does leave, and I'm sure he could get in with something like the Bullet Club, and he will have a huge career in the indie scene. It's just, why would WWE want that?
Oh, from a fan standpoint, Neville/Pac back on the indies, there are so many matches that I want to see on that now. You give me Travis Banks, give me Will Ospreay, give me, put him in Bola next year. I'm all about that. Sure, come on. And with Daniel Bryan possibly leaving also, yeah.
Yeah, those would be a couple of good gets for the ROH/New Japan type of thing. And I mean, he's going to have, if they release him, which I cannot reiterate enough, they do not want to release him. I don't know what his qualms are. A lot of people are assuming things. Some people are saying, well, he can make more money. I don't know if that's it. Well, he's upset with his push. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he is, but he's gotten quite a push this year. And they put a lot into Enzo and him. They put a lot of faith into him along with this Enzo thing. Had people saying, they only had faith in Enzo. No, they had a lot of faith in Neville in this regard too, and they thought they still think very highly of Neville.
Go ahead.
They put Neville as the guy they wanted to save this division to begin with, and he couldn't do it on his own. He just couldn't do it on his own. Jeff, any thoughts to that stuff?
Oh no, they built him up as a guy to be the face of this division when others were failing. There's no doubt that they have faith in him, and they want to have made him that strong. I think the one real miscue in the whole Neville reign was that 2-day title switch with Tozawa, to be honest with you. But I mean, other than that, they've booked him great, and he's lived up to it. He was one of the most see things in the division on that weekly show that nobody watches other than a few of us.
If the biggest problem here is that it's a limiting factor to 205, I still don't understand why they don't give the guys an opportunity. Like, they're putting them in 3 weeks in a row. They put them in the final spot on Raw. Why not integrate them more with the main roster? That would be,
that's not their deal. They established that this week. Cruiserweight contract is different.
But that to me is the most logical way of getting eyes on 205. If they see these guys, because 205 already to a lot of the main audience, to the casual viewers, doesn't have that good a rep. It doesn't matter what they do on TV on 205, then probably not going to watch it. So it just makes sense to make it normal, integrate them. But if that's not what they're going to do,
that would go to some of the biases though of Vince. And Vince doesn't believe small guys can beat big guys. So what you'd have is a bunch of guys being fed to brawn.
It's not the 1980s anymore.
The numbers for 205 Live jumped over the past couple of months. So, I mean, that's all I know. They jumped, they got better, and it was on the back of this Enzo Neville feud. I don't know why he left. I don't know. I don't know if they worked it out. Do not know. But it's they wanted it to work out with him. They wanted it to work out with Aries, and I don't know what it says that the two guys that they wanted to basically prop up that division both either walked out or asked for their release. I don't know. I mean, it's just they could always do more on Raw, but I mean, I think a lot of people have selective memory about how the cruiserweights were portrayed on WCW back in the day. I mean, they were throwing like El Dandy and La Parka out there cold on Nitro. There was no reason. There were no storylines. Like the Vianos were just showing up. Like nobody cared about them at any point. I don't think anybody cared about half these guys in Mexico when they brought them over. But they did it, and a lot of them made it work. The good ones did, but they're there for what they're there for, and I think they should be allowed to do that a little bit more because they're capable of so much more. As we saw in the Cruiserweight Classic, they're really restricted. But I don't know what Neville's qualm is. I just know that he did leave yesterday. But Jeff, I'll ask you, who am I to doubt El Dandy? I shouldn't have done that. He's a great wrestler and a jam-up guy. That El Dandy. Also, before we get into the SmackDown show, Anna, what did you make of Roman Reigns' comments kind of in the direction of Bullet Club and Young Bucks, saying we don't need guys who are too sweet and pretend they're DX from 20 years ago. We need people who do their own thing and do it now.
I can't remember if it was Nick or Matt that replied, but that's what made it for me. It was just, what makes you think that they're aiming at us? And that just took the cake for me. He's the company man. He's going to say the company thing. Just whatever. Like, the more wrestling there is out there, the more good wrestling there is out there, that's all I care about. So for WWE to pick fights based on this shit, yeah, whatever.
You know, it shows a little bit of lack of self-awareness, giving most of Roman's entire packaging is based on a gimmick where the other two members of his stable were more popular than he was. And he just got to keep the theme music and the entrance and all the look. So don't give me this. We need original stuff, Roman. Okay, you can toe the company line. You can do that. But
did the fake Razor Ramon work out? did fake Diesel work out? Like they've done real like ripoffs. That's their whole gag.
Yeah,
it's the gag. For the love of God.
Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah, man. SmackDown Live, there ain't a whole lot to talk about on this show, if you want me to be completely honest. This was, I thought, a nothing happening show, but we'll get started. There's an unbelievable promo from the Usos explaining what the fans don't see after a match like Hell in a Cell. And I thought this was great stuff. They're going back and forth to the New Day. They take a really long route to say that they respect New Day, but good stuff.
Yeah, and we got the line, "You donged me" out of it, which I think should go down in history as one of the greatest. Tonight felt like the night of unexpected promos, and it was really only two. But the promos really did, for the most part, take the show. That kind of was the whole point of this show. The matches were like, they happened, but it didn't really progress too much. But does this mean that this is it now for the Uso New Day feud for a while? Because of all the feuds to stop, I would question this being the one to start with. Like, cool, other teams are getting a shot, but
so I mean, I'm okay with it taking a little break, but maybe.
Yeah, a break is cool, but this seemed like, you know, kumbaya, let's go eat Subway or something. Like, it, I don't know.
I get the feeling that these two teams are probably going to face off at WrestleMania, like, because you can revisit that and say, you know, we tried to do other things, but here you go. And when you have a tag team feud that's hot enough to go into WrestleMania straight up like that, two regular full-time tag teams, not like a Styles and a Jericho, something like that. And you can run that and you don't have to do the traditional, like, oh, the four-corner tag deal. I think that says a lot. Like, I really like those teams. Jeff, what did you think about this opening promo here? We got the Hype Bros out there who should have been nowhere near this based on their track record, which the Usos unleashed kind of a sick burn on. He said, why don't you sit on the sidelines like you did your entire NFL career? Ouch. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin are there, and Usos tell them to get in the back of the line. That's going to get over. That is definitely getting over. Breezango come out, and they're followed by the Ascension, and Tyler Breeze says, will you guys please stop following us?
My favorite part of the promos when they go, unlock. Nah, Breezango's cool. Especially since we didn't get Pulp Fashion this week. I was quite upset by that. I was waiting for that.
That sucks, guys. That's horrible.
The promo itself. The promo itself was great, but it needed it needed the moment to let everybody soak it in as opposed to doing this. And my biggest complaint about this week's show is the tag in the women's division. This is their move. They bring them all out for a segment and they all fight. And we don't have a pay-per-view next week, guys. We don't need a number one contender right now. We can build one. We can choose one team and have him go through the other teams one by one and build that up and keep the Usos and the New Day away from it. And actually at the end, have that number one contender beat the New Day for the right to fight the Usos. That would be fine with me right now. I don't need the entire tag division out here where now none of them mean anything. Doing, basically this is their move. I mean, when's the next pay-per-view versus SmackDown? It's Clash of Champions, right? Probably after Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
Wow,
Yeah, you have Survivor Series and then you have afterwards. You can wait. You don't need the number one contender, and you don't need to have, okay, one guy's going to fight Jay, one guy's going to fight Jimmy, 50-50, one guy will win, one guy will lose, and then, you don't need the standard playbook. You can build and keep these guys apart and then make every feud like the New Day and Usos. That would be nice, but the promo itself, to answer the question, was fine.
We got a match afterwards. Daniel Bryan announced that the 4 teams that basically haven't feuded together all summer would be in a top contender match. Didn't have a lot of notes for this one. Victor has a really nice flying knee. The Ascension saved Breezango, and Corey Graves goes, "Yeah, they really want to impress Breezango," which I thought was very funny. And they caused miscommunication with the Hype Bros, which I thought was that was a couple of good spots that weaved a few different storylines in there. So you have 3 teams that have storylines and one that doesn't. And the one that doesn't gets the win so they can get a storyline, but the other 3 further their storylines, which I think are just fine. Suplex City out of Gable and Benjamin. And then we get their finish, which I think is very cool and don't know how they're going to do to a lot of guys. Like, the Bludgeon Bros ain't getting that one done to them.
I did like Tyler Breeze's trying to reverse the power bomb lift. I thought that was a nice touch. That was a nice little thing in that match.
Anna, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Jimmy's face to Gable and Benjamin's suplex is brilliant. And hey, at least we got Breezango in the ring this week. At least we got them at all. Yeah, I'm kind of with Jeff, though, what he was saying before about, there's time for this build. And it's like they've identified 2 really good flavors in the Uso and the New Day. And now it's just like, okay, let's see what other flavors these work with. And, like, who knows what could come out of that. I hope they don't waste this opportunity.
So it's going to be Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin against the Usos for the tag team championships. Undetermined date thus far. Backstage, the heel women are bonding. Well, they're kind of arguing, but then Natalia's like, let's bond because we all deserve it more than Charlotte. Wow. That was turdy. Charlotte does kick Natalia's ass real proper for making a joke about Rick. Says, what did you do? Break Rick's heart again, which that could be construed multiple ways. Anna, this was really for these women all they got tonight. A couple others had a match, but this is pretty much it.
If we're gonna have a crazy champ, can't we get a crazy Alicia as a champ instead of bitchy Natty? I mean, maybe this is just me buying too much into the kayfabe because I'm really going to enjoy when Charlotte kicks her ass. Mm-hmm. But it's like, why the long boo-boo face, Charlotte? Oh my, no, just no.
So we getting a Survivor Series out of this, Jeff? Like, are we getting a 4-on-4 somehow?
Oh, on the pre-show. I don't even think they make the main.
Well, here's my question. Who's the 4th woman on the babyface side? Because they got Naomi, Becky, Charlotte.
That's a
and
good
on
question.
the heel side, you have Naomi, Lana, Natalia, or not Naomi, Natalia, Lana, Carmella, Tamina. Like you got a few, but to me, I think it's got to be either Nikki or Paige, right?
Yeah.
Does Summer Rae still work for the company?
She ain't wrestled in over a year. She's cleared. She's good to go, but
it's time for Eva Marie to come back.
I don't see what a lot of people see in Summer Rae from that regard. Nice woman, useful for the company, sure, but I can't believe she hasn't been brought back in some regard.
Dirty Bella.
Her last appearance was that silhouette in the Fashion Files thing.
No, that was Tyler.
Baron Corbin talks about keyboard warriors. It's kind of funny. We'll talk more about that later. No Fashion Files tonight, by the way. Anna, they've gotten kind of bad about this. Like, sometimes I think they get to Tuesday and they're like, oh, shit, that Fashion Files thing we promoted.
Mm-hmm. They just don't have their priorities in check, that's all.
Evidently.
Yep.
Evidently. Jeff, they did announce this for tonight, yeah?
Next week, Emelina's coming back. Next week, Emelina's coming back. Next week, Emelina, the debut. Yeah, this continuity does not matter.
Apparently. Speaking of, Harper and Rowan are back together. They were beating each other up, and then they're off TV for a few months, and they've reunited for, I think, the 7th time. And the thing is, people want these guys together, so I think they overlook it. I'm happy they're back together. I am interested, to say the least, in whatever this gimmick is. I don't know. I think they're Gallagher's. Is that what they are, Jeff? Are they smashing watermelons on the crowd?
Oh, you made it worse.
I'm ready for it, man.
Worse. I don't believe you could.
They're those little guys. What was it? Super Mario Brothers 3. Do you remember that? Those guys that had the hammers that would throw them around. They wear the helmets and the wings. Those are the Bludgeon Brothers, right? There were the Mario Brothers and the Bludgeon Brothers.
It's already a bad gimmick, and you're making this worse on my heart. I can't. I'm turning into Anna. I can't. My heart. This promo stunk on ice. I'm sorry. That's God. I don't know what to say. I like the team. I mean, you know what they look like? They look like we're trying to be War Machine, but not too much. But we already have, and we already have teams like Sanity and the Authors of Pain. What can we do? We need props. Give them hammers, and we'll make them the Bludgeon Brothers. Which is funny because
a lot of people thought that War Machine were kind of like Wyatt things just because of the beards and the size and all that. Like, and you could slide them in, and they would fit in just fine. I'm excited about this because I know Eric Rowan takes great pride in improving in the ring, especially from an offensive standpoint. Like,
no, he's fine.
Always adding. They
are both fine in the ring. It's just this promo did not. You know what? They could have just said "run" and it would have been fine as a promo for me, as opposed to this high-minded, almost Thor Ragnarok type of promo that they were trying to go for here.
Gotta say, still better than Bray's gimmick right now. Yes. Anna, what do you think?
Yeah, at least they didn't use a Snapchat filter. Look, I have hope. I still have hope. It's just I question the text and the delivery. It was just Harper, Rowan, and then the camera did not cut away. And it hurts, but at the same time, I have faith because Harper, especially, I know what he can do. And like you said, Rowan continuously improves. So there could be something there. They could make something of this. But we will forever have that for the archives.
I'm excited for it. As it turns out, Becky Lynch still exists. She beats Carmella. There's some smoke and mirrors to glue this match together. Not a lot to it. Becky Lynch wins with the disarmor. I like Carmella's pink gear because everybody else wears black. If I were a pro wrestler, I would have 2 sets of like colorful gear and 1 set of black gear, and I would not come out there wearing the same dark shit every single week. So shout outs to Carmella for that. Anna, did anything stand out to you about this match?
Well, we got a glimpse of the real feud here, which is Lynch versus Ellsworth, WrestleMania 34. That's about it, really. Ellsworth was chained up again, and I had this visual of Carmella walking Ellsworth, walking a chihuahua, and then immediately regretted that image because be careful what you put out to the universe. Yeah, Becky got a singles match, and she won quickly and easily. That's about it, really.
Becky needed to win. Yeah. And it had been so long since she had had a singles win. She needed this. I'm very happy with her. I don't understand what you see in Carmella's one-piece swimsuit gear. You're the only person I know that really likes this versus hip-hop sports bra Carmella, which is awesome looking. I don't understand this fetish of yours.
I like it all. How about that?
Okay.
I think when her main accessory is a man on a leash, it doesn't really matter what else she's wearing, in my opinion. But
a lot of people pay good money for that. KO and Sami Zayn are out. Kevin Owens cuts this promo. He says he was about to go to heaven. And I really thought it was going to lead to him saying, I was ascending to heaven and I reached out. Sami Zayn grabbed my hand. Like, that's where I thought it was going.
Same.
And I thought that's where it should have went. But, hey, it was fine. He called Sami Zayn his guardian angel. He said, I get up there and there's a line. And I really didn't like that because I hate waiting in line. But then I got to cut the line. It was Peter himself. But he said Sami Zayn was his guardian angel. There were a lot of you people references that I didn't like. But the rest of this I really did enjoy. Sami Zayn, in what is actually a brilliant piece of continuity, brought up the fact that Shane McMahon brushed his advice off about a guy that he's known for 15 years, so that he realized that Shane never cared about him. This promo pretty much results in Sami Zayn saying, blood is thicker than water and we are brothers. And then they take turns sarcastically like reintroducing one another to the crowd. Like I think it was Chris Zellner that said like this is too uppity. One of them has to turn on each other soon. And I thought they would never do that to each other. That would never happen in a world. Anna, this promo, it answered at least a few questions. Sami Zayn is a heel.
that was the best gloating promo I've ever seen from Kevin Owens. And Sami's promo it was so rooted in logic. And Total Divas Eps on Twitter posted a gif of when he first came out saying he wasn't going to be like Kevin Owens. He was always going to he was going to win the right way and do the right thing. And then the gif of him today saying, I did the right thing by helping my brother. This is just underlined with logic, and I'm so on board with this. I feel like, people have their person. And for me in WWE, Sami Zayn is my guy, and I could not be happier that he has this spot. They have this, and they're going forward with it. They had the nameplate on the backstage dressing room, and I'm in. I'm sold. Heel Sami. Oh my God, I can't speak. I'm that emotional about this. No, heel Sami all the way. My heart is singing. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to shut up.
Jeffrey.
First of all, kudos to the Grand Rapids crowd for not wanting this promo.
Yeah.
This was, other than Paul Heyman, the best promo in WWE this year, I think. And I like the Usos a lot. They've had a couple of really good promos. This is from a guy who doesn't cut heel promos ever, I don't think. I think the most heelish he's been was under that El Generico mask for a few matches in ROH, spouting gibberish while Kevin Owens did most of the talking. Anna's exactly correct. It was rude in logic. I liked that. My hope for this is that Sami Zayn does to Kevin Owens what Kevin Owens did to Chris Jericho. I want him to out Kevin Owens in this feud. That would be my dream. I would absolutely love it. You know, I have no problem with this promo at all because it was all truth to power. That's all he did. And bad guys never think they're the bad guys. So, again, both crowds, both nights have been wonderful. They didn't ruin this promo when they could have very well have. And Sami, I think, got through it rather smoothly as well for it being a live promo in front of a live crowd that way, as opposed to like a backstage promo type thing. I thought this was great.
Eventually, we will get a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn WrestleMania match, I'm sure. I know that they'll probably just push for it at some point in their careers, but that could happen next year or it could happen 10 years down the line in the twilight of their careers as well. I love their constant affiliation. And I think every single time there's a shakeup, both of them should switch brands. Every single time. To the point to where it drives Kevin Owens crazy. Like, it drives him absolutely mad because I think it's perfect. You can always go back to that. Is it always great? No, but right now it is. Right now I'm really enjoying it. Right now it makes sense. Right now we've got some good stuff. Now, there are rumors that it's going to be Owens and Zayn against Kevin Owens or AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. I'm still looking for a great match out of AJ Styles like recently because I haven't seen a lot of great AJ Styles matches since earlier this year. Like since I think WrestleMania was the last time I saw one. Like I can't remember the last time I just watched an AJ Styles match and I was like, man, that was incredible. And I know he's capable of it, but he's even the Owens matches that he had, I wasn't like, man, just unbelievable. I thought they were going to be. They kind of let me down a little bit. So they'll return to that. AJ does have a history with Owens, but interested to see how that one plays out as well. I was not interested to see how Orton and Nakamura against Rusev and Aiden English played out. This match existed. Very slow pace until the hot tag. Orton back suplex Rusev on the announce table. I don't ever get how that's not a DQ. I don't, but it was a cool spot. Sure. Hot tag. Nakamura kicks some ass. RKO. Win. Cool. Well, what we can really talk about, though, no Jinder Mahal on this show, Jeff. He's there.
Great. Good. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm still... You're lucky I wasn't on your little post show because I would have been quite angry about it. I'm one of those people who's just like, I don't understand the gamble on India just with Jinder Mahal, but that's fine. That's what they do. But you're talking about AJ Styles not having a good match in a long time. I'm waiting for a good Shinsuke Nakamura match, and I still haven't gotten it, and it's frustrating to me. And if you want to talk about a guy whose star has been vastly diminished since coming to WWE, I think Nakamura and Zayn were my 1-2, but Zayn has now been reheated, so Nakamura is your prize, is winning the first place so far.
Well, hey, there's a possibility we could get a Nakamura Zayn.
I'll take it.
Thing with different sides of the spectrum. And last year they had a match where I 100% knew Nakamura was going to win, and I think everybody did. And it still had me on the edge of my seat. If you can do that, like when we know the result and a goddamn Blue Thunder Bomb is sold to me and I bought it, I was like, oh, hell, that's it. They're really doing it. Vince, like the ego, they're like, oh, we gotta show him how it is here. I was like, oh, he got in somebody's ear. No, it was great. So I expect more out of that, but they'll probably throw it in like an 8-minute SmackDown main event. Anna, this tag match, the lack of gender.
Yeah, I mean, I think WWE maybe finally are at the point where they are starting to rethink what the hell they're doing. Maybe. I missed the start of the introductions where it said that this was Rusev and Aiden English versus Orton and Nakamura. So I saw Rusev and English by ringside. I just thought that they were there for an Orton Nakamura match. And then I realized that, no, they were on two separate teams. And I forget every single week that Orton is still face in this feud. And then I remember the last time that Nakamura and Orton tagged together, Orton turned on him. So either Shinsuke is very forgiving or very forgetful, or he is just really terribly written. I have my bets on which is the case. But really just justice for Rusev. And that's not
there was no justice for us as viewers because we had to sit through this absolutely duty Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode segment. This again, Ziggler comes out and shows the world that Roode held the tights on his win the other night. He wants a rematch, goes up to the ring and does the exact same thing that Alexa Bliss did last night on Raw. So not only did he steal Alexa Bliss's hair when he straightened it, he stole her Raw segment as well. This was a giant waste of time, Anna.
I just love the exchange of, no, Dolph, I proved I'm smarter than you. Smarter than me? I'm the smartest man alive. Yeah, because that's how the smartest man alive would react to that. We did get a pretty decent hair flick, though, from Dolph Ziggler once he took out his... That was the highlight for me. The record scratch seems to be staying. That's a thing. And we could have had fashion files in this time, but we didn't get it.
We could have had literally anything. I would have taken a Jinder Mahal promo over this.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
I would, because it would give me better content for my podcast.
Hey, I'm about peace in this world.
Yeah.
Okay? Different priorities here.
Jeff.
In good fashion.
I didn't think it was possible to make Bobby Roode more boring than or milquetoast at least than TNA did. I was wrong. I don't like this feud at all. And I like both guys personally. I just think they need more dynamic people to work with in order for each to really shine. I think this is a bad mix, and this has been a problem with Bobby Roode since NXT because he didn't mix with Shinsuke. He didn't mix with anybody he had a feud with down there, really, to the point where you're going, okay, is it Bobby or is it his opponents or is it just bad chemistry? And I'm not sure anymore because I want Bobby Roode to succeed. I think he has the tools that are good on the main roster. I think it might be he's just a bad baby face. And pulling the tights certainly doesn't help. What was that?
What is going on?
Is that Anna?
Anyway, I remember back in the day when this troll from a forum sticks out to me so much. They were talking about James Storm, Chris Harris, and Bobby Roode. Mm-hmm. And they called him Fat HBK, Redneck Edge, and Canadian Triple H. And it stuck out to me, and I'm like, it's kind of an insult, but you could do much worse in life.
It's perfect, actually.
Yeah. But you could do much worse, right? Like, but it's enough to get you in this spot. It was enough to get Chris Harris a shot. It was enough to get James Storm a contract offer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're all talented dudes. Well, except for Chris Harris. He's not talented. He comes to indie shows and gets drunk. But, they all were talented. So, yeah, man, it's
I think a lot of this is the Dolph half because it's just such a bad pro wrestling gimmick to be talking about. I come in and I have the best matches and I don't like gimmicks. It's a little bit too on the nose, breaking the fourth wall for me. And I think it really brings down the entire program.
You shouldn't care if you have the best match.
Exactly. You go to the pay window, daddy.
The only time, because as I mentioned, WWE doesn't bring money up. Mm-hmm. In the UFC, it would make sense to say, I have the best fights.
I have exciting fights. Yeah.
You get paid $50,000 more if you win a Fight of the Night bonus. So when Donald Cerrone cuts his promos and he says, nobody has fights better than me, I put on the most exciting fights, I'll do whatever it takes to have an exciting fight. I'm like, well, yeah, of course you would. You're making $50,000 extra for the night. If Talking Smack were still around, all it takes is a Daniel Bryan saying, yeah, we bonus guys who have the best matches on the show. Man, that's tough. That's real tough. Anna, I like Bobby Roode's blockbuster, but on this night, he did not do a blockbuster, so I did not care about Bobby Roode.
With Ziggler, and I kind of feel like this is the big issue here, is they have brought him back several times, but it seems to just be variations on a theme, and it doesn't work every single time. Like, it might for a segment or one promo, but it's nothing sustainable, and that's exactly the same problem that they've run into with this. And someone like Bobby Roode, the gimmick they've given him is just what he was doing in NXT, but a face version of it, and it works to an extent, but he needs something to work off to be able to build on this. And right now, it's just nothing is happening, and it's just words and then people shouting and loud noises, and no one cares.
Yeah, the other thing about Bobby Roode is they've made it a feud about his most common criticism, which isn't a good idea ever, which is all you are is an entrance, and then people stop being interested. That's
accentuate
just
the positives, hide the negatives.
Yeah.
And for a long time, WWE didn't do that. They were like, we'll point out the negatives and make them work at it. Work. Sometimes people don't overcome those negatives.
Mm-hmm.
You can put a left-hander at like first base and they're never going to learn how to play it. Left-handers can't play first base. It's just how it is, or third base, whatever the hell it is. You can't do it. Sometimes you don't overcome that. Yeah, Jeff, look it up. Left-handers don't play third base.
I'm a left-hander. They put me at third base a few times. It didn't go well.
Well, that would probably explain a lot.
I got run over quite a few times, as I recall.
It's all about angles. But, I mean, hey, Bobby Roode, from that aspect, he is a guy that can throw out his arms and say glorious, and everybody will do it. And that's good. That's awesome to be able to have that. That entrance is good. He can get over that finish, the Impaler DDT, which I think is an awesome idea for a finish. All the greatest wrestlers do that move. Anyway, main event time. Baron Corbin defeated AJ Styles clean as a sheet in the ring. I like the match. Jeff, what do you think about AJ getting beaten clean right before he had to do what might be a kind of main event feud?
That was a shock.
Yeah.
And it kind of dispels any rumors we had been hearing about Baron Corbin being in any kind of trouble. Perhaps.
He wasn't in trouble. He had some heat on him. He wasn't in trouble.
No, you're correct. I'm a little surprised we didn't get a Ty Dillinger sighting in this match, perhaps. I think AJ bumped like a champ for Corbin and made him look great. Corbin took a ridiculous bump over the table off of that boss man spot. Yeah, it surprised me in so much as if you are elevating AJ to the main event level, seems like an odd way to do it, but I guess this is kind of their move at the same time. It would surprise me now to see him get elevated after this loss, because you could just bring up the loss and go, well, you got beat clean by this guy. But I was surprised. I'll leave it at that.
I'm not that upset by it. I'm not upset by it at all. Corbin hit a cool lariat. I love that everybody that Corbin faces has scouted that boss man spot where he runs out of the ring, because he does it every match, and it's really stupid. Styles at the Uchi-Goroshi, which Grave actually calls, and I wonder if he's going to get yelled at because he hasn't been calling those on Raw. So he probably hasn't been getting the orders to not call up the Uchi-Goroshi, which I was told. Somebody asked me why they weren't supposed to call it, and what I was told is nobody fucking knows what that is, was what I was told. And I was like, okay, well, when you call it that move, that's how people know what it is. That's how people learn what it is. Corbin gets out of a cash crusher, which was preceded by the phenomenal forearm. Then he just slings AJ Styles outside of the ring. That was very cool. end of days, end of match. I'm a big fan of how protected that finish is. Anna, what did you think of the match?
I liked it. There were a lot of really cool spots in this. I love that counter from the calf crusher, just slamming AJ's head into the mat. That toss was disgusting. AJ onto ringside. Back to what you were saying before, though, about AJ not having a spectacular match in a while. I think there's so much happening right now with the Mahal thing, but also Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. I think they were just utilizing him differently. He's been, I wrote in my notes, Corbin has gotten so much out of working with AJ and this feud, and he has upped his game in ring just by being with this guy. I think they were utilizing AJ in this role for a little while. I don't think a loss like this hurts him. I think now they can move on to whatever they have next. It's just like you can't keep guys at the top continuously. It's just life.
He was facing Kevin Owens, for quite a while.
Yeah, but then that ended. They moved him on to Shane.
Now I didn't get to see. I didn't get to pay that much attention to the Owens Jericho Styles match, so I still have to go back and rewatch like that pretty diligently because I was on the road then. But other than the Money in the Bank match, I'm like, I just don't remember a great one since Shane McMahon. And before that, the Orton matches that he was having, they were eh.
Yeah, but it's
before that he was having good matches all the time. I'm talking Cena, Ambrose, like with regularity. Ziggler had a really good one with him. Like there were a lot of good matches back then.
He carried that three-way on Sunday. He was the ring general there. I mean, that's kind of his role right now, is to get in there with guys who aren't as good and to try and get the best out of them. So
that's what I'm saying. I think his role is slightly different than just being the phenomenal one. He's kind of in there helping the other guys out, and they'll probably put him back into a main event spot leading up to Survivor Series or WrestleMania, but they're just using him differently now at this time.
Jeff, overall thoughts on this SmackDown Live?
It wasn't bad. It was a little inconsistent. I thought we were going to go into this last segment, which was just it's like, Renee, hey, AJ, can you roll over? I'm trying to do an interview here in the middle of the ring. Yeah. Can you go over, bleed somewhere else, please?
Of them having her go in and interview people. That one was a little awkward. Maybe pick your spots.
Exactly. Hey, just kick him a little. Just get out of my ring. And then I'm going to float down on a boat on the river of your tears.
Great. No, he said he was going to buy a boat so he could paddle down the river of tears. That was phenomenal.
I was hoping just for the figure 4 tie-in, he'd say it's a gold boat that he'd be able to float down on the river of tears. But yeah, I it's a metaphor I wouldn't expect Baron Corbin to say, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Anna, the closing promo by a trolling Baron Corbin.
I really liked it. He mentioned earlier in the show that, this was rubbing it in the face of all the keyboard warriors. And that, to me, at the time, I was like, what the hell has that got to do with this? But this thing is Baron Corbin versus the WWE Universe, and I'm very curious to see where they go with him next, given that's his fire. My only other question at the end of this SmackDown is, how is Shane McMahon?
No update.
That worries me.
Yeah. So, in other news today, House of Hardcore streaming on Twitch. You going to watch, Jeff?
Probably not.
Anna?
I'll check it out.
It's worth a shot. Impact started a streaming service today, finally. It was not a secure website for a little bit, and the guy who designed it is already gone from the company. Jeff, your thoughts?
You got to secure that, homie. If people are paying on a website, yeah, you got to wrap that tight. You can't be doing can't be. You know what they did probably? They probably made it live after the dude built it and quit and go, well, let's not change anything. He has the framework in there. But, I mean, for the 12 people who are going to buy your streaming site, you want to keep their data at least secure, right?
The dude probably has access to it.
I mean, like poor Garrett Kidney, the only guy I know who watches all of TNA. He's gonna buy this probably, but you want. I mean, that's a terrible way to start your relaunch, and then to use Hulk Hogan in the advertising, kind of another misstep in my opinion.
Anna, are you going to be a subscriber of the Global Wrestling Network? I figure you bid on House of Hardcore, so.
No. I want so much more for the locker room, and then shit like this happens, and it's.
I'm interviewing several members of their roster over the next week, so can't wait to ask them about lots of stuff. But
that'll be interesting.
For one of the best things that could have happened to SmackDown, the WWE puts on its website again. They do such good stuff on there. Did you all see the Kanellis video?
Yeah, I did. I watched it during the commercials of SmackDown. That was really good.
Yeah, you put that on TV. I mean, he's probably getting over it at least moderately. I think.
Adam Rose had a real chance of being over a couple years ago. You remember that with the ESPN thing?
Yeah.
That was great. Real chance. Didn't work.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Also, how have they not lost Renee Young to the Today Show yet?
I differ with a lot of people. I don't think she's at that level.
Okay, we'll move on to Anna, who probably has a more correct opinion. You have opinionated wrongly.
Yeah. Well.
And all of you can get that shirt over at ProWrestlingTees.com/Fightful. The You Have Opinionated Wrongfully shirt, which features the personality seen in Jeff's little icon down in the left-hand corner of your screen. Jeff, say something.
Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Sean Ross Sapp at his finest, right here. You guys,
that's right.
I was
a
thinking
shirt
that maybe we
based
should go
on that personality. You all can head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/Fightful for that. Hey, and if you buy something over at ProWrestlingTees.com/Sean Ross Sapp, I'm donating half of all the proceeds to actually, I'll donate them all this month. Why not? I'll donate them all to Puerto Rico hurricane relief. Let's do that. Anna, where can they follow you on the social media?
At Anna Bauert, Bauert.
You hadn't changed your Twitter handle to that lady yet?
Let's not go there. No.
Wow.
We won't.
No.
We won't. Jeff, what's up with Shake Them Rizzopes?
Well, this week, Rob and I may just troll everybody. He'll talk baseball. I'll talk this season of The Voice, handicap it. Nah, we'll probably just go over.
Have you all thought about changing the name of your show in light of
The Warrior?
Yeah, all the negative publicity.
Do
it as a Junkyard Dog tribute. The show can be Grab Them Cakes. Wasn't that his thing?
Well, actually, we'll just make it. Well, we'll make it in reference to Batista shaking them ropes. I think that's what it was originally.
Come on. Come on.
I was just gonna make it Fightful 2 Electric Boogaloo, but he wouldn't let me do that either. We'll talk No Mercy. We'll talk WWE. We'll talk a lot of Sami Zayn. We'll probably talk some NXT, and we may mention you guys. I don't know.
You can follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow us at Fightful Online. Of course, go over to Fightful.com. Go clickety-clack on all those stories. Comment on those stories. Head over to the forums. Talk about those stories because I want to interact with you. We have The List and your boy tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with a couple of guests. We're going to talk all the news in the world of wrestling. We had the Holy Smokes MMA podcast today after technical errors, and we talked Conor McGregor WWE rumors. So that's where you can go for that chit-chat. And Ian McCall getting his release. Lots of MMA news to talk about. But, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate all the support you all give Fightful. Until next time, we're out.